This is podcast psychology. We often wrestle with this idea of happiness. Is
Yeah.
it something that just happens to us? Like, are we lucky? Or is it maybe something more, something we can actually create? A choice, maybe.
That's exactly the question we're diving into today. It's really compelling. We're looking at the book The Courage to Be Happy by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga.
Uh,
And it's all grounded in the psychology of Alfred Adler, who really had a different take on what makes us tick, what makes us happy.
okay, Adler. So what was his big idea? What's the core thought behind this choosing happiness?
Well, Adlerian psychology basically says happiness isn't really about, what happens to you. It's not luck or circumstances. Instead, it seems to grow from two fundamental things: our independence, our ability to stand on our own feet, and crucially, our connection to others, our community.
Right, independence and community, sort of the me and the we.
Exactly. It's having that personal strength, but also knowing you belong somewhere.
Okay, so that's the balance we're exploring. And for everyone listening, we're going to try and unpack what that actually means day to day. Like, what is real independence and how can we, genuinely build better connections? Let's maybe start with independence. That seems like a good place to begin.
Yeah, independence. You see that drive so early, don't you? Even in toddlers.
Oh, definitely.
They need us for pretty much everything, but they're so determined, me do it,
Mhm.
even if it's, well, a total mess.
Ah, yeah, that fierce little push for doing it themselves, it feels really fundamental, doesn't it?
It absolutely is.
Mm.
And Kishimi and Koga point out, Adler saw this as more than just wanting to, like, tie your own shoes. It's this deeper need for freedom, the freedom to choose, to act, without constantly looking over your shoulder for approval. It's about agency.
Agency, being in the driver's seat of your own life, not just reacting. So, okay, if that's the goal, how do we actually get there? What are the strategies?
One of the really powerful ideas in the book is something called the separation of tasks.
Separation of tasks. Okay, intriguing. What does that mean exactly?
Well, the principle is quite simple on the surface, but it can be really freeing when you get it. It's basically this. Everyone has their own responsibilities, their own stuff to deal with, their own choices. Your tasks are yours, theirs are theirs. And the key is, don't meddle in their tasks and don't let them meddle in yours. It's about clear, healthy boundaries.
Okay, conceptually that makes sense, but life gets messy, right? How do you figure out whose task something actually is? Where's the line?
That's the practical bit. Kishimi and Koga offer two questions to ask yourself. First, can I ultimately control the outcome here?
Mm-hmm.
And second, am I the one who's directly affected by the outcome? If the answer is yes to both, it's probably your task. If not, it likely belongs to someone else.
Okay, can you give an example, maybe something relatable?
Sure. Let's take a big decision, like choosing who you marry, or even just a serious partner. Ultimately, that choice is yours. Right? You're the one living in that relationship.
Right, your life, your choice.
Exactly. Now, your parents, your friends, they'll definitely have opinions, maybe strong feelings. They might worry or disapprove or be thrilled.
Yeah, you can count on that.
And that's okay. You can listen. You can consider their points. But their feelings about your choice, according to the separation of tasks idea, those feelings are their task, not yours. You can't control how they feel, and crucially, you shouldn't let their potential disappointment or whatever dictate your decision. Your task is making the best choice for you and living with its consequences. Their task is managing their own emotional response to it.
Wow. Okay, so it's about focusing your energy where you actually have control, your actions, your decisions, and letting go of the responsibility for other people's reactions.
Precisely. It's not about being callous. It's about clarity, knowing what's yours to manage and what isn't. That alone can be a huge step towards feeling more independent.
I can see how that would lift a weight. Okay, so that's strategy one. Separate the tasks, focus on your control. What's the second strategy for independence?
The second one is about freeing yourself from your past.
Yeah. That's a big one for a lot of people, isn't it? Feeling like our history defines us.
It really is. But the Adlerian perspective here, as Kashimi and Koga explain it, is incredibly empowering. The idea isn't that what happened doesn't matter, but that what happened doesn't rigidly determine who you are now. It's your interpretation of those past events that shapes you. And here's the kicker. You get to choose that interpretation.
Choose the interpretation, so like reframe the story.
Exactly. Think of it like your memories aren't objective facts set in stone. They're stories you tell yourself, and you can choose how to tell them. This means you're not permanently stuck being the person you were or the person your past experiences might suggest you should be. You can choose to be different right now.
So instead of saying, I am this way because X happened, it's more like X happened and I choose to see it this way now, which allows me to be Y.
That's a great way to put it. So many people get stuck because they use their past as,
Yeah.
well, almost an excuse. Oh, I can't change because of my upbringing, or that relationship ruined me for trust.
Right. It becomes a reason not to try.
Precisely. But Adler would say, your past only has the power you give it through the meaning you assign today. You can revisit that meaning. You can find resilience where you once saw only damage. You can rewrite your personal narrative.
That's really powerful. Independence, not just from others' control, but from the tyranny of your own history, in a way.
It really is. It puts the power squarely back in your hands.
Okay, so we have these powerful strategies, separating tasks and reframing the past. But the book also talks about things that get in the way, right?
You-
Obstacles to actually achieving this independence.
Yes, definitely. Kishimi and Koga identify three main ones that often trip people up. The first is simply a lack of courage.
Courage, meaning it takes guts to be independent.
Think about it. Making your own choices means you might make the wrong one. You might fail. Like someone staying in a job they hate because the fear of looking for something new and maybe not finding it is just too big. Independence means earning your choices, the good and the bad. If fear is always calling the shots, you're not truly independent, are you? Fear is in charge.
Right, you have to be willing to face the possibility of things not working out perfectly. Okay, that makes sense. What's the second obstacle?
The second is a lack of will. This is a bit different from lack of courage. It's not necessarily fear, it's maybe comfort or habit, preferring to let others take the lead.
Ah, the I don't mind you decide person.
Exactly. Or maybe at work, the person who never volunteers an idea just waits to be told what to do. It seems easier, maybe less conflict, but it breeds dependence. You're not really steering your own ship if you always let someone else hold the wheel. The solution they suggest: start small. Decide what movie to watch. Choose the restaurant. Build that muscle of making choices for yourself.
So it's about practicing agency, even on little things, to build confidence for the bigger ones.
Okay.
And the third obstacle.
The third one is self-centeredness. Now, as kids, we are the center of our world, naturally. But some people don't quite grow out of expecting the world to revolve around them.
Like expecting things without taking responsibility.
Precisely. Yeah. Blaming everyone else, their boss, their family, the system, for why things aren't going well. Expecting help, but not taking initiative. True independence means realizing, okay, life isn't about what people owe me. Adler's view is pretty clear. You are not the center of the universe.
Yeah.
Taking responsibility, owning your part, that's where real independence comes from, not waiting for the world to cater to you.
That's a tough but necessary realization, it sounds like. Okay, so that covers independence. Let's shift gears to the other pillar, community.
The book uses that German word, Gemeinschaftsgefühl.
Gemeinschaftsgefühl, yeah, it roughly means community feeling or social interest, a sense of belonging.
And Kishimi and Koga really stress this. Independence is vital, yes, but it's only half the picture. We are fundamentally social beings. Our lives are lived with and through other people. Adler actually believed that pretty much all our problems and our joys ultimately boil down to interpersonal relationships.
So we need to stand on our own, but we also desperately need to connect. How do we cultivate that sense of community, that Gemeinschaftsgefühl?
The book offers a few key approaches. The first one is pretty direct. Contribute more to other people.
Contribute. How so? Like volunteering or...
It can be that, sure, but it's broader. It's about being useful, adding value to the lives of others in some way. Kishimi and Koga explain that this isn't just altruism, it's crucial for your own happiness. Adler believed that feeling useful gives us a deep sense of self-worth and belonging. Our value, in a way, becomes tangible through how we relate to and help others.
Ah, so by giving, we actually receive that feeling of mattering, of being part of something bigger.
Exactly. And it doesn't have to be grand gestures. The book emphasizes this. Often it's the small things. Really listening to someone, offering a hand, just being present and supportive. Those things build connection just as much, maybe more, than big dramatic acts.
That's good to remember. Small acts matter. Okay, what else helps build community?
Another big one is to freely offer respect.
Respect. But surely respect has to be earned.
Well, the Adlerian view challenges that a bit. Here, respect isn't necessarily about admiration for achievements. It's more fundamental. It's about acknowledging the inherent worth of another person simply because they exist. Trusting them fundamentally to manage their own lives, their own tasks. Remember the separation of tasks. Respect, in this sense, is about seeing them as an equal human being, capable of navigating their own path, even if you disagree with them or don't like their choices. It's a choice you make, a baseline you offer everyone.
Respect as a default setting, almost. Seeing the person's autonomy first, that's quite a shift. What's the third way to cultivate community?
The third is about actively nurturing what the book calls the three fundamental relationships:
Yeah.
work relationships, friendships, and loving relationships.
Okay, let's take those one by one. Work relationships, how do they fit into community feeling?
Kishimi and Koga argue that all work, fundamentally, is a contribution to society. Someone needs what you provide, whether it's a product, a service, expertise. We're all part of this complex web. And your value isn't just your title or paycheck, it's about your attitude. Are you doing your job well? Are you contributing positively? They use that example of the two salespeople, the one who just recited facts versus the one who genuinely tried to understand and help the customer. Attitude makes the difference. Seeing your work as a contribution builds that sense of connection.
So, finding purpose in the contribution, whatever the job is. Got it. What about friendships?
Friendships are built on that respect we just talked about, accepting people as they are, and also empathy, trying to see things from their perspective. In listening, Kishimi and Koga really highlight listening. Often friends just need to be heard, not fixed. Unlike work, friendships ideally aren't about utility or transactions. They're about genuine connection, support. Nurturing those builds that core sense of belonging.
Yeah, that authentic connection piece feels central. And the last one, loving relationships.
Loving relationships are unique, they say, because the task of the relationship belongs to both partners together. It's shared. The goal isn't just my happiness, but creating happiness together. And Adler believed really strongly that true happiness and love comes more from giving love than just focusing on receiving it. It's that shift again, from me to we. When you make that shift, the relationship deepens, and so does that overall sense of connection and community.
That focus on giving, on contribution, it really seems to run through everything, doesn't it? Both for independence and for community.
It absolutely does. It shows how interconnected they really are. Being independent allows you to contribute authentically, and contributing builds the community that makes life meaningful. It's a virtuous cycle, really.
So putting it all together, based on the courage to be happy and Adler's ideas, happiness isn't something you wait for. It's something you actively build. You build it through independence, owning your choices, your interpretations, separating tasks, and through community contributing, respecting others, and nurturing those key relationships.
Exactly. It's a choice, and it's work.
Mhm.
But it's work that leads to a much more fulfilling way of living. It requires, well, courage.
This has been incredibly insightful, really shifts the perspective on happiness, making it feel much more attainable, something within reach. So for everyone listening, maybe a final thought to chew on. Think about one area in your life right now. Are you perhaps giving away too much control, letting fear decide, or maybe neglecting a relationship that matters? Inspired by these ideas, what's one small step, just one thing you could do today to nudge yourself towards a bit more independence or a stronger connection?